Hi there guys, John from Big Red Barrel here. I am sitting here with Lee, who's going to take us through the first couple of spells in Wonderbook, Book of Spells. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Wonderbook?
Yeah, so basically Wonderbook is like a bit like no other. What it allows us to do with the AR points is really create any kind of concept behind Wonderbook. So in this case, obviously the first book we've done is basically Book of Spells, which obviously you can see on the screen, guys. So really what we're going to talk about is obviously how it works with the actual individual spell as well. So pretty much what we've got here is, this is chapter 1 of Book of Spells, and it's the levitation charm. So what we can actually do is interpret the text by the magical wand, like so. And again, the magical wand's actually controlled by the PlayStation Move controller. So what we actually see here is almost like basically a way to obviously understand the spell. So for the kids, obviously this is the way they'll learn the spell. So by doing that, the way it will work is I'll use the move button to draw the shape, as you can see. It doesn't matter if it's one key, obviously, as you can probably see, you can obviously draw it the way you want. But any great wizard or witch obviously knows that you need to memorise it, because you're going to need it for the test at the end of the book. So somehow I've got to remember this, so I'm pretty sure I can do that, like so. And what you'll notice now is at the end of the wand, I've actually got the levitation spell. So on the book itself, I'm going to have what looks like, I believe, a glass jar of ice. So now with my new spell, I can actually elevate the item. But I've always been distracted, you know, I've just been yeah, that might be a bit of a problem. So obviously you've got the interaction with that, but also, even with the book, you can actually interact with the book, so the fact you can obviously completely throw the actual glass with the eyes in it. So that's a bit of the levitation spell, but obviously Book of Spells is all about different spells, so we're going to now move on to the fire making spell.
How many spells are there all in one Book of Spells?
There's basically 20 spells across 5 chapters, so 4 spells per chapter is basically the concept behind it, about learn, practice, and obviously eventually get tested obviously on the product as well. So in this case now, with the second spell, we're actually going to learn the Incendio spell. So as you can kind of see there, you've obviously got the gesture on the actual book. So this is the gesture we're actually going to use, and what's going to happen is it's going to create an environment for us to actually use this spell in. So you actually notice in the book that the dragon's actually starting to come to life. It's going to be going across, as you see, the crease. We've got a couple of butterflies that are flying around, and eventually we're now obviously in the book itself.
So there's some spells that you'll just do outside the book, interacting maybe with the book, like in the jar, and then some stuff will actually put you inside the book itself.
Yeah, exactly. We obviously wanted to make a safe environment for you to use the spells with the magical ink and paper, so that's basically where it comes into. And when you actually got the outside elements, it's more kind of the on-screen, those wow moments that obviously will grip the kids and so forth like that. So in this case, obviously you should see here, I've got my magical wand with my Incendio spell, and literally with the flick of it, I'd obviously start shooting the Incendio spell at the individual bugs. Now, the funny thing is, you can actually set fire to the environment, so the professor will obviously give you a bit of a telling off, obviously in a nice way, you know, they won't kind of have a moan at you. But obviously the key element is about practice makes perfect with the actual individual bugs. Like so. Clearly I've been playing it too much. And so the great thing about it is, we want to really kind of give that key element that, oh, you know, well done guys, but what you actually receive, as you'll see in a minute, is actually a letter comes down, and within this letter, it obviously tells you about the house points you've got, but it also has a little video clip, so you can probably see there, it's me with my great fire skills, as you can see, obviously shooting the paper bugs. So that pretty much just gives you a bit of a basics on the Wonderbook, Book of Spells, and obviously the couple of spells that are involved with the product.
So when's Book of Spells out with the Wonderbook?
The date on it's going to be 16th of November, and obviously it will just be massively launched, as you can imagine. So.
Alright, well thanks very much then, Lee. Thanks very much. Cheers.